Hello YouTube family and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is McKinney and I love making videos about personal style, slow fashion, and capsule wardrobing. A big part of maximizing the items that you have in your wardrobe and having a capsule wardrobe filled with pieces that you can wear for years and years and years is finding out the little wardrobe tips and hacks that you can use to make those pieces wearable. I have a couple of pieces in my wardrobe that I probably wouldn't wear as much as I do if not for these kinds of tips. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 6 of the techniques or tips or tricks or hacks or whatever it is that you want to call them that I use to make wearing my wardrobe more effortless and just all around easier to get dressed in the morning. The best way to make use of the pieces that you already have is to make it easy to wear them. So hopefully in today's video, you'll learn some ways to do that. But before we get into it, I want to please ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a big thumbs up and let me know if there are any hacks that you use that weren't in this list that maybe I should know or other people who are watching this video should know. I love to learn from you all, so definitely leave a comment down below. Let's go ahead and get into my 6 tips to make your wardrobe more wearable. So the first wardrobe tip that I think is so crucial to making your wardrobe more wearable is if you dry your items like in a dryer and not line dry your items, to remove them as soon as they are finished drying and not let them sit in your dryer for like days or even a week at a time, which I am just preaching to the choir here because this is a lesson that I still have to learn. I get in the habit of just putting things from the washer into the dryer and then they dry. And then I'm like, oh, I'll take them out later or I'll fold them later. But then by the time I actually get time to fold the laundry or hang them up or anything like that, they've been sitting there for probably a day or two or more and they've re-wrinkled, and then I have to go through the trouble of steaming and ironing everything before I put it into my wardrobe, which I often don't do that anyways, so all I have is a bunch of wrinkly items, and it keeps me from wearing those items until I say to myself, okay, I'm just gonna throw it back in the hamper, wash it again, and then this time I'll take it out on time. And it creates this terrible cycle of pieces that I don't actually get to wear because I don't take the time to just remove them straight out of the dryer. The second tip goes right along with that, and that is if your clothes are wrinkly, and this is something I've been trying to practice more often, if your clothes are wrinkly, make sure that you steam or iron them before you put them away. I think this is especially helpful for those of us who hang your clothes or the majority of your clothes instead of folding them, which I personally hang the majority of my clothes because I find it easier to see everything and make choices. And so you don't want to put something like wrinkly into your closet or on your rack because you're just not going to be gravitated towards that item because maybe you're in a rush or something like that and you don't want to steam it or iron it in the moment. So ironing it or steaming it before you hang it up, before you put it away, ensures that when you go to reach for the item, it's just more effortless and you can just throw it on and move on with your day. The third tip that I find extremely helpful all year round, but especially in the summertime when things can get hot and sweaty and sticky, is to wear biker shorts underneath your dresses or skirts. This to me is just like the holy grail of wardrobe tips, because if you have big thighs like me, then you know that the thigh chafing game is so real, especially when you're sweaty and sticky and whatever. We all have been there. We know how it feels. Wearing a pair of biker shorts underneath your skirts and dresses is an absolute game changer for me. I was actually sent a pair of biker shorts from Thigh Society. They are the cooling ones, and they are so thin and so soft and just absolutely get the job done. I've been wearing them nonstop underneath my summer dresses and my skirts, and I just absolutely adore this piece of technology. It's fantastic. So if you don't have a pair of biker shorts or some kind of shapewear or something that you can wear underneath your skirts and dresses, definitely think about investing in a pair because They are lifesavers. I've linked the pair that I have down in the description box. Check it out if you're interested. I'm not sponsored, it's not an affiliate link or anything. I just absolutely love the product. This next tip goes right along with that, and that is wearing an undershirt for either your white pieces or your pieces that are made out of delicate fabrics or things that you don't want to wash as often, such as finer knits. Now, I know that knits probably don't really apply if you live in the northern hemisphere, but even in the summertime when you're wearing thinner shirts, say you're wearing something in a beautiful silk or a white linen shirt or even a white button-down shirt or something that's flowy, you don't want to stain the underarms, and you also don't want to have sweat stains. So you can increase the longevity of these items by tip number 4, wearing a undershirt. Now, this one that I have from Numi is actually really great because it's a scoop neck, and so if you want to wear a button down, you don't have to worry about your undershirt showing. It has pads underneath the armpits to really make it sweat proof, and it's cropped, so you don't have to worry about trying to tuck multiple things into your pants or about the shirt riding up as you go about your day. This is a great way, again, to increase the longevity of your items, especially the items that are lighter in color or are in more delicate fabrics. I absolutely love this and I highly recommend it. Before I got an undershirt, I would often avoid wearing any of my silk shirts or any of my like white button-down shirts because I was always thinking to the future and wondering, oh, this is gonna stain today, and it would keep me from wearing those pieces normally, which is a shame because they can be major workhorses for your wardrobe. So adding something as simple as an undershirt can really make the rest of your wardrobe more accessible. The 5th tip that I use to make my wardrobe easier to access and easier to wear is to make sure that I am organizing or displaying items in a way that makes it easy for me to see everything. I kind of learned this method as I was going through the Marie Kondo phase that I think a lot of us went through probably 3 years ago, I guess, 3 or 4 years ago. But she talks a lot about if you don't see something, then you're just simply not going to think about it a lot of the time. So I really love to organize my clothes in a way that I can see that. For me, that's mostly through hanging them up. Now, I do fold some of my clothes. I fold my athletic wear and I fold my lounge wear and casual wear. But for my capsules, my seasonal capsule and my All Year Basics capsule, I hang up almost nearly everything. For me, that even means finding a way to hang up knits so that they won't be damaged. So I'm going to show you really quick how I hang my cardigans and my knits in order to preserve their longevity and make sure that they are well taken care of. And Remy is over here sniffing. So the first thing that I do is I take my cardigan here and I fold it in half. Just like this. Just like that. After that, I take my hanger. I use a velvet one. Yes, Remy. Yes. Okay. Out of the frame. Go, go, go. I use a velvet one, which really helps to just make sure that things are sticking. And I put it right here in the armpit. So next, it's just a matter of figuring out what works best for this particular knit. So I usually will try to like do the body first. So let's maybe lean it this way a little bit. And I'll take this and I'll fold it over like that. Sometimes you can tuck it into the hanger like that to secure it even more. But in this case, I'm not going to because it's a little bit wider than other pieces. And so I'm just gonna drape it over like this. And then you take the sleeves and you do the same thing. You drape it over and you can kind of finesse your hanger around so that it creates this nice little shape up here and it will hold your things secure. I actually learned this on the Rachel Ray show, which I don't watch. I learned it off of YouTube on the Rachel Ray show. So it just looks like that. Let me move the camera so that you can see it. Looks like that. And it keeps it from getting weird bumps or anything in the elbows. This isn't exactly perfect, but it will do as an example. So in my closet, I have my All Year Basics capsule. That's gonna stay out the entire time, and it works because I have kind of a small space, and so it keeps this space really, really organized because these pieces stay here all year round. But on this movable rack that you've probably seen in some videos here and there, I keep my seasonal wardrobe. This really helps for me to place emphasis on the pieces that are specific to the season and on pieces that I'm going to have to tuck away soon so they can get more of my attention. Hanging up my clothes in a way that makes it easy for me to take account of every single thing that is present makes it easier for me to put outfits together, and it ensures that everything gets worn just like it's supposed to be. And the last tip I have for you all today that makes your wardrobe more wearable and more accessible is to make sure that you have the proper undergarments. This is something that is definitely personal for each individual, depending on the kind of undergarments that you like to wear, both on the top and on the bottom, whether like wired bras or bras with no underwire, lined or not lined, whether you like full coverage panties or not so full coverage panties. This is definitely a personal choice, but I think that making sure that you have a good variety of several kinds of each item is a great way to make sure that every piece in your wardrobe is accessible. Like having a pair of underwear that, you know, keeps your panty lines from showing. But I think probably the main thing about having proper undergarments is to make sure that you have undergarments that match your skin tone. For me, that's mostly nude undergarments. So I like to make sure that even though you want to have fun things in your underwear drawer, it's important to have a good foundation of staple colors. For me, that's nude and that's black. Having those colors in my underwear drawer ensures that I can wear everything that I want to wear and not have to feel self-conscious about being able to see my underwear when I wear white pants or white dress, and it just makes everything so much easier. It's like the absolute foundation of every single outfit, so you want to make sure that it's not only comfortable, but it's also making your life easier by being the proper color, shape, etc. All right, so that's that for today's video. A little bit shorter, but I think these tips are really valuable. I try to follow these tips as much as I can, and when I do, they make my life so much easier. By no means am I perfect. I don't always get the laundry out right on time. I don't always steam or iron something before I put it into my wardrobe, but when I do, again, it makes wearing my pieces so much easier. So I hope that these tips were helpful for you today. Again, please subscribe down below if you haven't already. That would be super awesome. Give me a thumbs up. You can follow me over on Instagram at the handle on my screen. I upload reels every week and have a lot of fun doing that. As always, it's such a pleasure to spend this time with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!